Alright everyone, we start off today talking about the meltdown that not us, just Californians, but Democrats in general are having right now over the California recall election. Of course, not that long from now, registration closes there. If you are a Californian, I strongly urge you to register there, if you're not already, and I strongly urge you to vote yes to recall Gavin Newsom. Keep in mind, despite a likely high turnout differential, we've already seen some potential shenanigans in the recall election. There was that dude on crack passed out in his car with hundreds of recall ballots, and we haven't gotten an update on it, so that points to probable shenanigans. Because why would a drug-addicted felon want to steal mail-in ballots? Well, it's not to make money, so at least not in the direct way. I think somebody else was pulling the strings there. As far as who replaces him, who gives a shit? Anything's going to be better than Newsom, even if only marginally. Keep in mind, the biggest thing here would be to reduce the executive level abuse in California. The legislator there is still supermajority Democrat. Basically, the Dems are freaking out because they're afraid Feinstein in the next couple of years will retire because she's supposedly demented. This appears to even come from inside the Dem party. They're like, well, it's kind of getting up there. She should, pass the torch to someone younger. The problem is if she were to do that now, Newsom replaces her, and he's a Democrat. What if Larry Elder is the one doing it? That's what's got them worried because the Senate is right now 50-50. Now, first and foremost, before I get further into this, keep in mind there will be pinned comment down below if you're watching this video on YouTube with links to 4 other video hosting sites that I use. Keep in mind I make 2 videos a day that are exclusive to those platforms, so you can get double the clank if you're just following me on any permutation of them. Or you can follow me on all of them, watch the same video like 4 times if you're bored one particular day. Now, link in the description, archived of course. There are only a few more days to register there. Again, Californians, please do, because what you've got right now is a situation where in a state that is predominantly Democrat, there's a almost 50% of the California population are registered Dems. But a lot of them have abandoned Newsom and the rest have malaise. And this is a symbol of the larger problem within the Democratic Party. It's not just a California thing. Newsom is not the only governor who has managed to alienate small business owners, blue-collar workers, contractors especially at this point, and other people within the largely, normally Democratic population. Republicans are a small minority of Californians, yet in polling, you've got near a 50-50 yes-no split on whether Newsom gets recalled. If the turnout differential is higher than expected, he will be recalled. If it's lower than expected, he will remain. Either way, I expect that a significant proportion of independents and some Democrats will cross lines to recall him. It effectively makes him a weak governor, takes away any mandate that he has. He'll be celebrating if he manages in a state that's almost 50% Democrat, where the Republicans are, by some estimates, 30%, if he manages to hold on with 51% of the vote. So keeping that in mind, he'll be happy if it's just a small minority of independents that save him by the skin of his teeth. That's the best possible scenario, again, minus shenanigans. You have the ability, if you're in California, to punish him. Now, what I would say is go beyond the party line. If I were a registered Dem or certainly an independent, I'd vote to recall him too. He has fucked the state's economy sideways to the point where California is losing population at a fairly significant rate, and it's accelerating. It's not getting better. That's not just because of the lockdownerism. That's part of it. When you pass draconian business restrictions and start sicking the Gestapo on people for not having a mask out in the public park, at some point people get tired of that. Look at the kind of people as well moving out of California. It's the people that pay a lot of tax money because they have the capability to move. Which person can move? Someone who works a 9 to 5 at $15 an hour, or somebody who's got 6 figures in their bank account? Which one of those people is more likely to flee California? It's the latter. Well, they're taking their income, their holdings, their wealth, and therefore their taxes out of the state. State's going to end up destitute. If you keep forcing out everyone in the productive classes that actually pay into the Californians' bloated system, the system will collapse. This is not necessarily a bad thing, but the problem is this. Right now, the Democrats, you see Juan Williams and all these other apologists, they've pivoted. They're so worried that they've pivoted away from saying, well, Gavin Newsom's not bad at all. How dare you COVIDiots want to remove him. He's just doing what works. Of course, if we match up their case totals, or New York's with Florida's, you'll see there is no real impact. That is the truth. CDC has the numbers. They're there for the whole world to see. The surge in cases is happening everywhere, not just in DeSantis, Florida, and evil Greg Abbott's Texas, and the Dakotas. Well, I don't even know that it's happening in the Dakotas, but population density definitely to some degree does apply. Now they've pivoted. Now they're not trying to even defend Newsom. Have you seen the latest slew from like The Atlantic, Juan Williams, his own personal write-ups, New York Times and stuff? It's like basically here's the storyline now. A month ago it was Newsom's actually good. Then a few weeks ago it was Larry Elder is the devil, and that's worse. Now it's, hey, we get it, you're pissed at Newsom. Yes, things have gone wrong. Yeah, he's fucked the economy, and maybe he's a little too draconian with the restrictions and stuff. But the alternative is worse. Please don't vote to remove Newsom. What they're doing by trying to get people scared about Larry Elder, who would presumably be the one replacing him, although not certainly, and by getting people scared about the situation, what they're trying to do, they're not trying to dissuade anyone who doesn't like Newsom not to vote to recall him. They know it won't work. What they're trying to do is whip up into a frenzy the remaining Dem partisans that aren't against Newsom, because they know that if their turnout rises, a few points, probably Newsom remains. It's going to be a close one even if he's recalled. He's not going to get recalled with 60% of the vote. Not in any realm of reality. But what they're hoping to do is take the malaise-stricken, I don't give a shit Democrats that don't support Newsom. They're not going to go out to vote at all, probably, and get them to go out to vote self-interest, even though technically, if they really looked at the scenario, if they're Californians, it's in their self-interest to remove Newsom. Newsom, again, it's not just the lockdownerism. The economy was already waning in California to begin with. I love it when people are like, well, California pays more into the system than it takes out. Yeah, lazy red states and stuff like that, but it's like you're losing the capability to have that situation because you're alienating all of the people in the productive classes, the solid middle and the upper middle class especially. If I were in California and I was making the salary I'm making now, I'd be looking to sell my house or whatever and leave. Why would I want to remain there to get decreasing services, with soaring crime, not even be able to go outside to the fucking burger joint without like, oh, you need a COVID passport and a hazmat suit? Why would I want to deal with that? I'll move next door. I'll move to a state where things are open for business and things can go back to normal. Again, supposedly, according to my detractors, supposedly I fled to a socialist country. I'm in the Netherlands at the moment. No masks, no mandates. A bunch of ravers took to the streets last week and managed to get them to promise to repeal what few mandates still remained with regards to concert venues as of the middle of September. At that point, there will be no restrictions. There will be nothing. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a damn, and somehow people are not dropping like flies like it's last man on earth. You've got people like Newsom who are misusing the pandemic to try to push their brand of authoritarianism because it gets them off. That's really what it boils down to, is this is his ego trip. It's time for the people of California to take him down a peg. Again, do I expect him to be recalled? It's going to be close. It'll probably be within 3 or 4 points. There are possible shenanigans going on, and there are attempts, although I don't know that they'll work, to invigorate some part of the Dem voting base, the hardline partisans. Well, otherwise you'll have Larry Elder in there. He's to the right of Trump. He's the black face of white supremacy, I believe one of the stories went. I don't know that that works. Juxtaposed with that, if turnout is high among people who want to get back to business, and they're not all just partisan Republicans, there are Democrats that do have a job, just so we're aware, then he will be recalled. My hope is that he is, and that would be a strong bellwether for the midterms. So again, if you're there, if you're registered, vote yes. If you're not registered, go register and then vote yes. Get rid of Newsom. Whatever comes after him is not going to be... The Dems are pretending, well, if we have a Republican governor, Larry Elder will destroy the Constitution or something like that. He'll have to deal with the Dem legislature and Dem sympathetic courts. His main role will be repealing executive-level mandates. That's basically it. That alone will help to stanch some of the bleeding out with the state's economy, because then things will be open for business. But, they want you to believe that if Larry Elder becomes governor, all of a sudden Jesus will be the lieutenant governor, and church and state will be the same thing, and you'll have no abortions, and corporations will spew out toxic pollution everywhere, like they don't already do that in California, and the climate will destabilize, and all the almonds and mangoes will die, and everything will go to hell. Well, California's already in hell. What the fuck do you have to lose? That would be the great slogan for Larry Elder. Make California actually function again. That's about all. Peace out.